How's it going, my fellow Homo sapiens? It's your boy, the legendary Hado, and this is my top 5 most insane Gantz characters. This and more coming at you next. Alright. So I've been wanting to make this video for a pretty long time, but I've been procrastinating for a very long time. I enjoy Gantz. I think Gantz is awesome. I first started Gantz watching the anime. That's the first thing that got me on Gantz. And then I started reading the manga. And it was the first manga that I ever binge read. I just sit there and just read for hours on top of hours. It was like, yo, this is incredible. Oh my god. This manga is awesome. So the original Gantz was just so great. So this is my top 5 most insane characters. So for the number 5 spot comes up to be
Jiroshiro Nishi, middle school student, age 14, first appearance in Incident. Nishi is a character that is selfish, shadowed in mystery. Throughout the manga, he rarely gives out any information about himself. Nishi is a character that doesn't give a damn about anyone else. He is also a character that keeps his cool, calm, and collect throughout the manga. The only time he seems to lose his cool is when he gets ready to die and start crying out for his mother. Nishi can become angry or hostile towards others when irritated, and he will mislead new players and trick them, so those players won't get kills and take any of his points. Nishi is a character that doesn't care about others, and if he can't benefit from it, he will not help. Nishi usually uses invisibility to travel around and attack his enemies, using the Y-gun to wrap them up. He has also been seen carrying the X-gun. Nishi is one of the only characters I remember using invisibility. Nishi is great with going invisible and waiting for his teammates to weaken the aliens before he comes out and takes their kills.
Now, Jiroshiro Nishi, oh man, I like him. I think he's an okay character. I mean, there's a lot of people that could have took number 5, but I just felt like he was a pretty good candidate for number 5. He was an overall okay character. He was stingy. You really couldn't trust him. But one thing I really liked about him was when they brought him back to life, he was like, you brought back a high schooler to ask for help. You know, it wasn't, thank you, I'm going to help you out. It was like, y'all group of old men asking a high schooler for some help to save the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Really, bro? This is what we have come to? But, I mean, he was an asshole. But he kept his cool throughout the most of the series and most of the manga. The only time he really lost it was when he got ready to die. So, my next Gantz character for the number 4 spot is
Hikawa, age unknown, race vampire. First appearance, chapter manga 158, black clothing. Hikawa is the enemy of Gantz players and the leader of the vampires. Hikawa is a leader and a man of action. He has won the majority of his battles. Hikawa is a very calm and quiet character, and he is the most powerful vampire in Gantz. His weapon of choice is the katana, the Japanese sword. Hikawa's power and abilities are superhuman strength and speed.
Hikawa. Now, Hikawa was awesome. I enjoyed Hikawa. The biggest issue for me with Hikawa was I felt like they didn't utilize him like they should have. No, you have this guy that's this vampire, and vampires was stronger than humans. They was faster than humans, you know, and just think about all that power, that speed and that power using the gas suit. I felt like Hikawa could have done so much. We got to see him in the game face off against an alien, but it was a great fight. I mean, I was super excited. I remember reading it. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. But they just didn't use him, especially at the end game. We didn't get to see Hikawa. I think we've seen him maybe like one more time, but that was it. And I felt like Hikawa would have been great in end game at the end of Gantz. It was just so much Hikawa could have done. He was really, really powerful. I would love to see areas where he was inside of Gantz and he was like, yeah, I can kill these Gantzers now, but maybe I might need to use them to kill this alien here who's trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So I was hoping to see more of that, but we didn't get to see that. It was just, hey, he did one mission. I think it was like one mission, and that was pretty much it. You know, he tried to kill the Gantzers and got one mission, and that was pretty much it. I was really disappointed in that. So our next person who takes up to number 3 spot is Shion Izumi, age 17, race human, first appearance, manga chapter 92, transfer student. Izumi is a teenager with some amazing skills at the game of Gantz. He also won his freedom in the series, however, he went back to the game of Gantz later on. Izumi is a character that is aggressive and also arrogant. Once he gets his memory back and get back into the game of Gantz, he quickly develops skills to survive and kill aliens. He is one of those characters that never shows his true self. When Izumi is in the game of Gantz, he is one of the characters that usually get the highest score and does the best. He is one of those characters that is addicted to this game of Gantz. The only thing that he cares about is playing the game and getting high scores. The only time Izumi truly feels alive is when he's inside the game of Gantz and his life is on the line. However, Izumi is not perfect. He finds himself competing against Chrono, trying to beat him at every turn and trying to surpass him and his own superiority complex. Abilities and skills, Gantz sword and strength. Izumi is a character that is very gifted and a fearsome combatant. He is also well versed in battle. With Izumi being tall and very gifted, it makes him one hell of a deadly opponent with the Gantz sword. Izumi has a lot of strength. He was able to cut a dinosaur in half without his suit, and he was able to defeat a vampire, showing his strength and his ability with the Gantz sword. Izumi is awesome. I really like Izumi. Now, originally I had Izumi as number 2. I was like, I want to keep him at number 2, but then I bumped him down to number 3 because I felt number 2 had a better spot. Izumi was awesome. I mean, he was this character who had just so much skill. He was great with almost everything. He could do almost anything. I mean, he was awesome. I liked him. He was badass. He got the job done. He won his freedom and went back into Gantz. What made Izumi so great was he was someone that lived for the game. He was one of those characters that actually enjoyed Gantz. It's like, yeah, I'm not playing to get my freedom. I'm playing because I enjoy it. I'm playing this because I truly feel alive. And I like how he was very competitive and how he kept fighting against Chrono and trying to surpass him. Izumi was awesome. I think that he was a great character. I think that he used him pretty well. I love how he used the Gantz sword. That's my favorite weapon out of Gantz. The Gantz sword is pretty awesome. But he was an overall great character. So, the number 2 spot is tucking by
Chrono, age 17, race human, first appearance, manga chapter 1, an incident. Chrono is the protagonist of Gantz and one hell of a hero. Many times throughout the series, he has went out his way to help others. Chrono is the leader of the Tokyo team. Chrono at the beginning of the series was very reckless and selfish individual. However, as time went on, he started to change and help others and keeping them alive. After doing this, others started to see him as a hero and a leader. Chrono might fight reckless against the aliens. However, he is a good fighter and he can hold his own by himself. Some may say that he is one of the best solo Gantzers. Chrono has some amazing abilities to dodge death. He always finds a way to survive, even in instances where he should have been killed or died. Chrono is one hell of a warrior, and his skills exceeds in all Gantz equipment, from using Gantz guns all the way to the Gantz sword. Chrono's survival instincts are incredible. He can do some incredible things with his suit that other Gantzers just cannot do. He uses his suits in interesting ways, keeping himself alive and defeat aliens. Even when he lost his memory, he was still able to defeat aliens and vampires because of his survival skills. Chrono is a very unique individual. He has been seen taking Gantz weapons home to practice and to learn more about them. Chrono shows some amazing abilities to improve his skills and to improve when he needs to. He is a great with teamwork and thinking ahead to defeat certain bosses. Overall, Chrono is one of the best well-rounded characters. Abilities and skills. Leadership, the ability to learn and use any weapon, and adapt to the situation.
Chrono is just a overall great character. Now, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, he should have been number one. Yes, he should have been. However, I felt like there was someone a little bit better for that number one spot. Chrono was overall, this hands down, a great character. He was one of those, he's the protagonist, but he was an overall good character. Like, he was just good with everything. He was good with team leadership, coming up with plans. You know, he was like that one class that could do everything. Tank, heal, and DPS. He was just an overall great character. Now, if you ask me what was my favorite Chrono, I'm going to have to say my favorite Chrono is at the beginning of the Gantz series when he finally loses his virginity from Old Girl and he goes into the game and he doesn't give a damn anymore. That zero fucks Chrono where he just slaughters the alien. He's like, I'm not here to try to protect people anymore. All I got to do is keep myself alive. I love that Chrono. Like, that Chrono was awesome. Another thing I liked about him was he didn't shy away from cheeks. You know, if a girl was going to pass him some ass, he was going to get into that. And I really kind of liked that. That was one thing about him that was really awesome. But he was just a character overall that always had a solution. He knew how to dodge death. He knew how to come up with plans. He knew how to defeat aliens. He was just a overall great leader. So now we're getting ready to go into our number one spot. The number one spot is tucking by
Sakurai Hiroto, race human, age 17, first appearance, manga chapter 109, suicide. Sakurai is a high school student who has been bullied and sexual assaulted by his bullies. Sakurai is a kid that's pretty unstable and close to the edge of committing suicide. But once he meets his teacher, Kenzo Sakata, his teacher teaches him how to unlock his hidden powers, telekinesis, and to use his newfound powers to kill his bullies. Sakurai does end up massacring his bullies, however he feels horrible for doing such. Sakurai ended up in Gantz after he wanted to redeem himself from killing his bullies. When Sakurai witnessed Izumi massacre, he tried to stop him to redeem himself. However, he couldn't stop all the bullets and he was killed in the progress. This was the first time Sakurai ended up in Gantz. Sakurai is an extremely powerful psychic character. His ability to kill aliens with his psychic powers are amazing. We really don't get to see Sakurai truly use the full extent of his power until manga chapter 327, after Tangatsu has been killed. By this time, we really get to see how powerful Sakurai is by wiping out aliens just by using his mind. Abilities and skills. Sakurai is an amazing learner. When Sakurai first got into Gantz and started to use his psychic powers, he was aware that if he used them too much, it is unhealthy and can cause health problems. The more he used his psychic powers, the more negative effects it has on his body. These abilities strain the body and strain the mind, and can cause nosebleeds. However, because of the properties of Gantz, it seems that each time he successfully teleports back into the Gantz room, it resets the negative effects, so he will not die from using his psychic powers. When Sakurai ended up into Gantz, his psychic powers was very weak. However, as the story goes on, his psychic powers become extremely powerful, strong enough to wipe out cities and to destroy robots size as skyscrapers.
Now I know you thinking, I know what you're thinking. You're like, really? You know what? Just like that man's video, he put Sakurai at number one. Let me explain. Now I admit, throughout the first half of the series, Sakurai was bad. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me just be honest with you. When Sakurai first came into the series, I hated the character. Oh my god, he was the worst character possible. You had this kid that was being bullied and sexual assaulted by his bullies. You know, not just that, you got to ask yourself a question. How bad are you when your bullies not just bullying you, but are like, yo, let's rape this kid too. You know, so he learns his psychic abilities. And you think that things going to get better. He's like, yeah, go over there, slaughter your bullies, kill them. But instead of him killing the bullies, still bully him, and then they sexual assault the dude. One dude's getting some head, and he's like, hey, make sure you swallow it this time. And at that moment, Sakurai's like, yeah, you know what would be a good idea? Let me kill everybody in the room now. And I'm thinking to myself, so you could have killed them like 5 minutes ago before you had that man meat in your mouth. But now you decide to kill him since he said you better swallow it this time. You know, I think it was like a teacher that walked in and he was getting ready to work the back. So old boy's getting some head and you getting ready to work the back. And after he kills his bullies, he felt bad for it. And I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with you, dude? What's wrong with you, man? So I really hated this character. Oh, man, he was just the worst character. And he had a cool property. He was a telekinesis. He had psychic powers. Now, once we get to the end of the series, Endgame is where Sakurai actually become big. So I think it's Tansugatsu, I forgot how to pronounce her name. When his girlfriend is actually killed and he gets that zero fucks where he doesn't care anymore and he really starts to use his psychic powers and we see how powerful Sakurai truly is. You know, you see this kid goes and kill an alien just using his brain. He was able to block the electric shocks with his brain. You know, he was able to pick the aliens up with just his mind and crush them. He got onto the ship, killed more aliens, but what really made Sakurai stand out is when he walked into a city and wiped out the whole entire city with his psychic powers. Just killing everyone. Men, women, children, old people. It didn't matter. He killed them all. And that's when Sakurai became number one for me. Because that power was insane. No other Gantzer had that type of power to wipe out cities. That was just insane. And I think that, to me personally, was the best Sakurai. That Sakurai reminded me of Chrono when he first lost his virginity and he had that zero fuck attitude. That is that zero fuck Sakurai. And that's the reason why Sakurai is my number one, takes the number one spot in my top 5 most insane Gantzers. So what is your opinion on it? What is your top 5 most insane Gantzers? Do you believe in the same, do you have the same top 5 as me, or do you have a different type of top 5? But that's all I have for you today. Please rate, subscribe, comment, and share. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Matane.